They just had to discontinue the Shake and Bake and the Bombardier because of their metal tracks. They're causing a lot of damage to the surface of the glacier. And that's when we switched over to using Ice Explorers only. But between 84 and 86, you could have hopped on any one of those buses if you came to do a tour here. Now, I said I want to get back to the Lateral Moraine. If you guys take a look to your left-hand side, you can see another section of the Lateral Moraine. This section is much steeper than the one we just came down, and therefore lost its stability a lot sooner. Now, due to that, rock slides are starting to collapse off the Lateral Moraine and onto the edge of the glacier here, forming what we call the Ice Core Moraine. So we're on top of the Ice Core Moraine right now, and what the Ice Core Moraine is this layer of rocks insulates the ice underneath it, protecting it from the sun's light and energy, and so it's going to melt significantly slower than the ice out there to our right. So you can see a patch of this ice right here to our left, and well, there'll be some more of it up ahead of us too here, so don't worry. Alright, who got their bathing suit? That's pretty cold. This is our Brewster Tire Wash, folks. May I please ask for 6 volunteers to help out and scrub? So over on your guys' left-hand side now, you can see a bunch of this ice I was talking about. That's underneath those rocks. So we do want to rinse off our tires, so that way we're not tracking too much excess mud and dirt onto the surface of the glacier here. Now I know what you may be thinking, well, why, Andrew? Why do we want to reduce the amount of mud and dirt we're tracking to the surface of the glacier? Why, Andrew, why? Oh, let me tell you. Because of something called the albedo effect. That's the ability of a surface to reflect the sun's light or energy. So a very bright or light-colored surface, such as snow or ice, is going to have a very high albedo. It means it's going to reflect a large portion of the sun's light energy, up to 90%. Whereas a darker surface, such as, let's say, those rocks to the left of us there, they've got a much lower albedo. What that means is they're going to absorb the sun's light and energy, and in turn warm up. So if we track a thin layer of mud and dirt onto the surface of the glacier here, that's going to darken the surface, causing it to attract the sun's light and energy, therefore warming up and transferring that heat to the snow and ice around it, promoting melting on the glacier. And we don't want to promote melting on the glacier, it's melting quite quickly on its own already. So on average per year, we're losing anywhere from about 10 to 15 meters off of the length of the glacier and about 5 meters off of the depth. So this is melting quite rapidly, and if we can prevent adding to that, we're definitely going to try to do our best to do so. Now straight ahead of us right there, we've got the Athabasca Glacier's head wall, so the start of the glacier, and then just beyond it, that big hump you see on top there, that ridge, that is one of the visible edges of the Columbia Ice Field. The Columbia Ice Field is 215 square kilometers, and it is surrounded by 11 of the 22 tallest peaks in the Canadian Rockies. Now, this makes an ideal environment for the creation of snow and ice, because its average elevation is also 3,000 meters. So we're going to be at 2,200 by the time we get to the turnaround point, so 800 meters higher in elevation than us. And because of that elevation, as well as the surrounding mountains, and the fact that it's so close to the ocean, a lot of moist warm air from nearly forced to rise over top of these mountains. So as it rises over top of the mountains, what's going to happen is it's going to have to cool off and drop that moisture. Now most precipitation falling at the elevation of the ice field will fall in the form of snow. So even if it's a nice warm day down here and you get a little bit of rain, it's more than likely snowing up at the elevation of the ice field. Now this snow accumulated up there for hundreds and hundreds of years, layer after layer after layer after layer after layer after layer, and then eventually the way the top layer started to compress the bottom layers into glacial ice. Now this is the process we call fernification. That is fernification, spelled with an I, folks. Now eventually that 215 square kilometers was completely filled with snow and ice, and there was nowhere left for it to go. So down into the surrounding valleys it poured. It is the glaciers we see today. Now in addition to larger glaciers, we also have smaller glaciers as well. So we got a couple of these to our left-hand side right here. So we're at 9 o'clock and 10 o'clock. And so 9 o'clock down one is known as the Double A Glacier. So it's right between Mount Athabasca and Second Mount Andromeda on its right. Now I don't like this name, it's not very creative, I don't think it is at least. So I've changed the name, I'm calling it now the Andrew is Awesome Glacier. What do you guys think about that? Yeah, let's do it. So the Andrew is Awesome Glacier. And then to the right of that, we've got the the Andromeda Glacier. So both these are subclassified as independent glaciers, so they're just growing up on their own. They're no longer getting any new ice from the ice field, and they're just slowly melting away. Now, as these glaciers move down out of the valley and into the surrounding, down out of the ice field and into the surrounding valleys, we have to do some movements over some very uneven surfaces. So one thing is called so what's going to happen is as the glaciers move down to the valley, it's going to conform to the contours of the valley floor. So it doesn't just like push everything else away and destroy everything. Another road does break stuff up a lot, but it still has to form to the shape of the valley floor beneath it. Now the lower levels, they have to do a lot less movement than the top levels, and the top levels will eventually stretch and crack from a giant cracks in the glacier that we call a crevasse. This crevasse is going to be very wide, up to 10 meters wide and 50 meters deep. So it's quite a solo. Now in addition to that, there's something else called a mill well. So mill wells are glacial hot water takes advantage of your hands. Glacial hot water takes advantage of a hole in the ice and then drills a hole deep down past the surface of the glacier, sometimes to the very bottom of the glacier. Now these can be very dangerous and they can be very easily avoided though, both of those things, by staying within our turnaround point. So turnaround point is marked by some red area boundary signs. So it says area boundary and a red sign, and so this is where you're going to want to stay within. So if you walk outside of that, I cannot promise you you're not going to fall into a deep, dark, cold abyss. So we're almost here, so don't go behind the buses. Just when you're walking, go nice and slow, take it really easy, and then yeah, that's about it. So yeah, nice and slow, don't go behind the buses, don't walk backwards, there's another one. Walking backwards when you're taking a photo is very tempting, but it's very easy to trip on this glacier. It's quite an uneven surface in spots. So I forgot, I have to read you guys this disclaimer. It says Snowmobile Tours Limited does not assume responsibility for persons choosing to disembark on the glacier. So that means that if you hop out and you slip and fall and get hurt, Brewster's not going to feel bad and they are not going to give you any money. I'll be pretty bad, I don't got a lot of money to give you. So let's take it nice and easy, walk nice and slow. We should all be just fine. The worst I have seen around here is a couple of cold, wet feet. And so unless we're getting married sometime soon, that shouldn't be too much of a problem, right?